want your heart surgery. Gotta need your heart, so I can be what you're coming to be. I wanna talk like you, I wanna walk like you, I even wanna act like you. Ain't no cap, it's the truth.
Hey, hello, hello,
Good
hello. Hello,
We're
everybody. This is Randy
and Pat.
and Pat. Welcome to Straight from the Heart. And from our heart to your house, from our house.
Yeah.
All right, Sharon, hello. Tanette. All right. Look, you ladies are ready, right?
Yeah.
You're ready. Oh, man, we love this. All right, we're excited to be here on this beautiful day. I mean, it is simply gorgeous outside. This would be a great day to go walking.
Could have been a little warmer, I think, but other than that, I'm glad. I'm thankful.
I won't complain.
I won't complain. It was that's not a complaint. That's just that I would like for it to be a little warmer.
Okay, and you're entitled to that.
Yes,
you're entitled to that. See how we disagreed to agree.
But the weather is pretty outside. It was nice. Good driving weather.
Hello, Delphine.
Yes.
Yes, so we're excited to be here, and maybe I can get Randy out after this to take me to dinner or something. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I am going to take you somewhere.
You are going to take me?
Yeah,
he took me shopping earlier, you all.
Yes.
I had to, it wasn't even planned. Don't you love it when it's not planned? And we asked him to give me a ride this morning somewhere, and somehow it deviated. And we ended up at the mall, and he wasn't going to come in, but he ended up coming in, and I got 4 outfits.
Wow.
All right, ladies, you got to play your cards right.
Yeah. Are you still in debt?
I'm still in debt.
You still in debt?
That might be a good thing, y'all.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we're here. We're excited this evening to be with you again, and just to share a few moments straight from our heart to your heart, and let's just talk. Randy said something that kind of leaped in my spirit, and then our tech lady, our production manager, she actually came up with it, and we all agreed that it would be a great topic for today. And so we're going to talk about the power of no. The power of no. You know, so many people have a problem with saying no. And one of the things that really gave me that jump in my belly is because that has been an area that I have struggled with, because you want everybody to be happy. You want to meet the needs of everyone. You want to make sure everybody's taken care of. And sometimes you're left on the bottom, because now who takes care of you? Who comes to see about you, or do you need anything? And I actually shared that with someone yesterday. We were in a conversation, and I'm looking at something on the screen that says yes day. Yeah, every once in a while, I need a yes day instead of a no.
You got one today. So we don't say yes when it's needed to say yes. But I think the power of no, we just need to know when to say no, and just to go ahead and say it instead of saying him on and agreeing to do things that you know are not
conducive to your day or your week. You know, the learning the power of no is necessary to carve out time so you can reach your own personal goals, and you can do some things that you desire to do, and focus on some things, you know, because if not, what will happen, you will be frustrated because you have met the needs of everybody else, and your specific goals or needs have not been met. And so what happens is a lot of times you cut out that me time for yourself. And so I think that's important.
Yeah, and then you can not say no and become overwhelmed, because you're giving more of yourself than you have time for, because you only have so much energy. You only have so much time. There are only so many minutes in a day. And so when you decide to do something for someone, then somebody encroaches on that, and they ask you to do something, and then you feel obligated for whatever reason to say yes, and then find yourself in a quandary because you can't completely successfully complete the other tasks that you had planned for the day because you have this thing in front of you.
But I think what happens a lot of times, we allow others to dictate our time and our schedule, and it prevents us from accomplishing a lot of things because we prioritize everybody else's stuff. This week, for instance, there were things that I knew that I needed to do, but then there were things that I possibly could have put off till next week. But I'm one that I kind of work on impulse.
Wow. Yes.
I'm like, and I've been
Is that a good
accused.
thing?
It can be if it's, I'll use it to my advantage. I'm one that, for whatever reason, my adrenaline is just like going when it's last
But,
minute.
yes, but
It
and
seems
then
like
when
I'm
it's
I'm
two
more
people,
creative.
but when it's two people involved in a situation and you both have to agree to do that you're doing something, then
Right?
you have to come to a consensus that what works for you may not even work for everybody else, because I'm not a person that's like spur of the moment, just like, oh, we gonna jump up and just do this. And
You can
I
be.
can't be. I've learned to adjust. I don't have, sometimes I don't have opportunity not to, so, and I end up saying yes and doing things that sometimes grudgingly do, that I would rather have done something else or would rather went a different way, but because you want peace and
I think it
people.
brings, when you say no, it brings a sense of balance to your life because you're able to prioritize,
Yeah.
and put things into perspective. A lot of times when you're just steadily moving, you haven't really taken time to think things through. Your mindset, for me, is just like, get it done. I know I got to do this, this, and this. And then sometimes I have to sit down and I laugh at myself because I have went from one side of the town to the other side of the town, and I have to be careful because I'll pat myself on the back and say, girl, you did your thing today. You did this, and this. But I'm so on edge at the end of the day, then it takes me forever to wind down at
Hmm.
night because I'm so used to moving. I have to actually set. And then the danger is in it is eating. Last
Oh boy.
night, I could not go to sleep. I was just like, this week has been, I've had death in the family, the bestie that passed. And so I had funerals and working with the family and trying to encourage others, and along with my regular work
Yeah, schedule,
schedule
yes,
and
and
my
other assignments.
personal things that I had to accomplish, that I it was hard for me to unwind. And here I am at 3 o'clock this morning eating a brownie and some ice cream.
That's,
Something that I knew that I shouldn't have
oh
done,
gosh, yeah.
but I could not go to sleep because my mind
Did
was
they
still
help you?
going.
Did they help you go sleep?
It helped me. Did it help me?
Yeah, yeah. It helped you. What?
Yes,
It
it
helped you
helped crave.
kill the craving. Huh?
It killed the craving. It did a little something because I actually was sleepy after that. But it was good for the stomach, not for the heart or whatever you would say.
Yeah.
He says he has this thing that I
Live to eat.
live to eat,
Mm.
but he eats to live,
Eats to live. Yeah.
and that's okay
I
because
think because a lot of us we eat, and sometimes we just eat socially. We just eat to be
ladies, don't y'all
eating.
pay him no
Well,
attention. Keep eating.
whatever.
If
No, if you want to live, if you want to
you
live,
want to live.
yeah, you want to be healthy and take care of yourself. I think that you
Delphine
probably
said,
want.
"Help me, please." The
Yeah,
power of no. Hello,
yeah,
Delsa.
yeah,
The power of no.
yes.
Yes. And so learning to say no is really crucial. It helps
Mhm.
you to be honest and authentic with yourself, realizing that you can't do everything.
You can.
You can't be everything to everybody and be successful. And I realized that, approaching 60, that I do have to stop and think before I make a lot of decisions because I'm so used to running on impulse and my adrenaline just like, it tells my mind that I can do it. But in order to be effective, and that's what we want to be. We want to
Yes,
be
yes.
effective in what we do. We don't want to just be doing things to just be doing it. We want it to make sense. And I have a thing that I always say, and so some of you that know me is, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And so, in retrospect, if you have practiced bad habits and things that that you know that are not healthy, then you will find yourself doing it out of repetition because this is what you do, and it's what works. And so, yes, it may work for some, but you got to make it make sense.
It ain't so much that it works is when you've done something, it becomes a habit, and so you're comfortable with that habit. And when you are trying to achieve something different, if you want to do something and you want an outcome that you've never had before, the only way to get that is to do something you've never done before.
Come on now.
Because you can't do the same things and get something different. That's impossible. So you're gonna have to. So feeling uncomfortable when you're doing things is normal. That's what you're supposed to feel. You should feel uncomfortable. It should feel somewhat tedious and challenging to you because it's different. It's new. Anything new and different is going to be like that. And so the mind and the body, because it knows these other things and it's been in the habit of doing these other things, it will try to force you to do what you've always done. But in order for you to be successful, you have to change what you do.
Exactly.
You have to change the way you think.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking of an old sage who said, if you change the way you look at things, things will change the way they look. And I know that's true, because even in your disagreements with people, when you are being challenged by somebody and you look at it, and then you have to think about, so if your response is antagonistic to their response, what are you going to gain from that? And what do you hope to achieve if you let it go to a different level as far as bantering back and forth?
Delsa says you can't do the same thing and get a different outcome. That's exactly right. I always think that before you say no to something, know what you're saying yes to. Because you can say no, but if it's not no, then it's a yes. What are you saying yes to? A lot of times people may pull from you, or they may out of habit, because they know that you can get it done, and so you'll find yourself saying yes. And I want to say to somebody, it's okay to say no.
It's okay
to say no, because I think you create an opportunity for others as well. If you always if you're always saying yes to everything, then you don't leave room for growth for someone else, because then they don't get the opportunity to experience a lot of things. And so I think that it's important, and maybe that's just the leadership part, that I'm kind of focusing on, that if you're always the one doing it, if you're the smartest one in the room, then when do you allow somebody else to do it or learn how to do it?
Even being the smartest one is just that I think everybody needs to grow, come up. Everybody needs to come up, and everybody needs an opportunity. So sometimes when you saying yes to something, and you know that no needs to be said, because no would challenge this person to get up and to do what they know, that what they probably can do anyway. But it's just that you have to be able to say no so that you can make that happen. And then I think that a lot of times when you do it, is you counsel with someone, you can help come back to them later on and say that no was a blessing in disguise, because it helped you to achieve something that you readily could have achieved, long ago. And I think it propels you forward, that it helps in growth. It helps in moving forward and challenging yourself to do things.
Okay. And then sometimes saying no, I think sometimes we think that we may lose different prospects or opportunities. And so we think that we have to say yes to everything. But I just believe this, that if you're good at what you do, there'll be an opportunity to present itself, and it will come back around for you to do it. You don't have to always feel like you're going to miss something because you say, I can't do it this time. Or you just say, no, I don't want to do it. And that has been the case for me in some instances, that I've been asked to do something and I knew I did not have time to do it. But then because the person asked me and I felt like they felt I could do it, then I said yes. But then I was a little stressed on trying to accomplish it, because I knew I had bit off more than I can chew, because I had so many other obligations. And so sometimes you do have to just learn how to say no, or even, not at this time. You know, I can't do it at this time, or I'm not going to be able, let me get back to you. You know, it's okay to say no. You know, Regina's helping me with that. You know, sometimes she'll tell me we can't do that right now, you know, and I want to do it. I want to see it happen. But she's telling me not right now. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad idea or mean that it's a bad thing. It's just that no is not good. So I like to say when you have the right to say no and your yes is valuable. And that's so true. David said, I have problems saying no and rarely weigh the consequences. Now that's good.
Yeah.
I have problems saying no, and I rarely weigh the consequences. There are consequences if you don't say no. That's real good, Dave, because a lot of people have found themselves in situations because they couldn't open their mouth and say no. Come on, and if we're gonna be honest,
in the past, yes, and I've been guilty of that in the past. So you know, I've since learned.
Sharon said, "Pull a Nancy Reagan and just say no." But you have to learn how to say no, because if you don't, there are consequences, and sometimes we don't think things through. We just jump in head first because we are so used to doing it, and so no never comes out, and so we do cause ourselves unnecessary stress. Delsa, that's good. We cause ourselves unnecessary stress because we didn't say no because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But you know what I'm learning? People say no all the time when they don't want to do something, and you know what happens? It gets done. It gets done. So you don't have to be the only one that does it.
And that's just in life, because some people, you know, they ask you to do things because they know you can get it done, and they probably can do it too. But sometimes they just need to be challenged with doing it and then moving forward. I think it helps them to grow and then accept the responsibility for their actions and for whatever it is that's on their plate that they need to take care of. But I just think that for saying no and just not doing the same thing all the time. I mean, because, you know, and the only way to gauge, you know, your success in that is to look at your results.
And, you know, I like that saying no is a form of self-care.
Yes.
When you don't say no, you know what? You do bring more damage to yourself.
Yes.
High blood pressure, people are stressing, they're stroking out, all kind of things because they didn't say no, because they didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Or even, you know what, I take it a step further. Sometimes peer pressure. People don't say no when they know that they should have, and they find themselves in situations when they know they should have said no, and they knew it wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah, and we see teenagers do that a lot. And
I have one.
And even sometimes adults. But, you know, I think that in life we just need to learn to be able to say no and make our yes, and amen, and make sure that when we saying it, that we mean what we say, and then when we do what we say that we're going to do. I think that is very important, to have integrity, you know, when you say. And then if you can't do something and you need to say no, just say no. And if you feel like you need to qualify, sometimes you can qualify your answer, sometimes you don't have to. But I think sometimes
we do it because we don't want. I've heard some people do it because they don't want to not be liked. You know, they want to be accepted in a certain group. So they find themselves saying yes. But a lot of times, I'm a team player. I love working with people. I love watching it. And believe it or not, I can really play behind the scenes really well, because I love the get in, the grind, and pull it together and build it and then watch it as it comes to fruition. There are some people that have to be out in the front. I've learned how to be out there, but it's not a place that I have to be. I can do the groundwork, you know, and help set it up and develop it and implementation. And I've been accused of it. Even I recall when the church was open, and as a leader, I would always, sometimes I've been slightly rebuked as the leader. Why are you in the kitchen? Why are you going to the store? Why are you cleaning up? Because I'm a team player, and I don't wait for somebody else to do it.
But that's probably some of your Your ADHD, your
ADHD. Now he's diagnosing me.
No, obsessive
publicly.
No,
ADHD?
No, not
I didn't know I had that.
No, not ADHD, but obsessive
Now he already knows that I don't have no filter, y'all. Y'all pray for me.
Obsessive compulsive disorder. When you want something done and you feel like you need to get done, you might.
No, now I may have a little compulsive.
Yes.
Disorder because I am. I don't call it even that. Now y'all see, y'all want to have us have our friendly disagreement live. Listen, not compulsive. I don't like that. That don't sound right. I wouldn't call it compulsive disorder. I am goal oriented. Come on, that sounds more like me. If I'm working on something, I cannot stand when people procrastinate. Okay. Or they don't do what they say they're going to do. I believe your word should be your bond. If you say you're going to do it, I expect you to do it. And if you don't, then guess what? I jump in and get it done.
Can I just say,
go ahead, Randy.
Thank you. Is that when you doing
this is 37 years, y'all. We learned how to do this.
So you doing the event, and so you want this and this is being prepared, and then you want the table set a certain way, you want the chairs put a certain way, then you want this done. So even when you've delegated that responsibility to someone, you know what I mean, and sometimes you feel the need to maybe they wasn't there when you got there and it wasn't done then, and so you'll be like, oh well, I'm getting ready to fix this, I'm getting ready to chop this up, and I'm gonna make this food, and I'm gonna rearrange this thing, and I'm gonna set this table up, I'm gonna do this and start my decorations and stuff. Now that is not a we want to say that it's, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think that when you feel like you need to do something and something needs to be done, and even if you delegated it to someone and they didn't do it when you felt like they should have did it, and they wasn't in such a time fashion to meet your time constraints, I think you find yourself doing it in spite of.
Dave Horner said that's his condition, ADHD. Delphine, I like what Delphine said. She said goal oriented. That's it, Delphine. Okay. I'm goal oriented. If I say that I'm going to do something, and in my mind I've already processed it, I've already seen it through, I can go in and basically get it done because I've already visualized it, you know. And so some people find it a little hard to work with me if it's something I'm really passionate about. I don't wait on anybody to make it happen for me. I go after it. And I'm not saying that despairingly. I'm just saying, for me, my personality is that, and I believe that if you're going to do it with excellence. Give it your all. You know, be good at what you do, and stay focused. You know, if you're going to do it, I don't think that you should start and stop and start and stop. When we missed the show the other week, it bothered me because I felt like there should have been a backup plan. There should have been something in place. And it was an emergency. It was neither one of our faults, but there should have been something in place to compensate us not being ready for the show. And so I've made a vow to myself that we will always have a backup plan if something were to go wrong. And so it's not being hard on yourself. It's just expectations. And that's just how I am. And I'm like that in leadership. You know, if I know that a person can do it, I'll come alongside them. If they can't, and I know there's a certain way, I try to encourage them and help them. But then if I see it's not going the way, then I jump in and do it. You know, and so that's maybe something I need to work on is patience. Because when I want something done, I just want it done. So you're less abrasive. What are less abrasive ways to say no? You want to answer that?
Less abrasive. Not to be, you know, I think we have to choose our words wisely, and then knowing when you're dealing with someone that this may cause some friction or make them feel a certain kind of way. I think it's a way to say no and explain your reasoning for saying no, because maybe it's something you don't feel as comfortable with, and you don't have the time to devote to it that needs to be devoted to it. So, and if you don't have the time, then say that this task needs 3 hours, you only have 2. You know what I mean? So you can't do it, you know, and function in that capacity and get it complete and do a good job of it in the limited time that you have. I think so. When you explain those things to someone,
Right.
why you're doing it, why you're saying no, then I think that makes it easier for them to accept. I think, but when people are trying to badgering you and trying to get you to say yes, because like even now in my position, they've asked me to do some things, but I don't feel comfortable with it. And then I'm a team player, but then I want everybody on my team to we all be on the same page as far as expectations and skill.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so they've asked me to do take a supervisory role and do something, and I declined. And then so they asked me to take another role in supervision, and I declined that. But I'm like, I only accept things that I know I feel comfortable, and I think if my team is up to par where I can be successful, because I'm not gonna allow you to put me in a position where I can't be successful.
Right.
And I know what I'm working with, so I know that these people are not
You have a
quality
question.
people.
Do you always have to explain why you're saying no?
You don't always have to explain. I don't think you should have to. I don't think you should. I think sometimes when people, how you dealing with somebody and this person has a personality. It doesn't take much to damage them. It doesn't take much to offend, because a lot of times people, I think some people look for reasons to be offended, just just to be offended. I don't know. They look for a reason, but I think that when you're talking to someone and you explain to them why, and then if you just say no and say I can't tell you why, because maybe it's something personal, and you said you have to say no for other reasons. So
I think that one way to not always have to explain why you're saying no is to be inclusive. Learning to use the words we and us.
Yeah.
It helps because you never make it about you. I'm one that, I say, hey, let's do this, or we need to do this, or, or us, we're all going to come together. Being a team player, making everyone feel like their role is important and what you bring to the table is important. So I think it's not what you say, it's how you say it a lot of times. And you don't have to always explain why you're saying no. If you, I'm one, and someone used a very good analogy today, and I hate to put it in this wise, it was at a homegoing service, and they got up to have remarks, and one of the things they said was, when they ask about my life and why or how I went through it, or why I went through certain things, then tell them they watched me go through it. So there's nothing to explain. You watch me go through, you watch my bleeps, my blunders, my ups, my downs, me dealing with my condition. And so I've already really preached my own eulogy.
Yeah.
Because you watched me go through it, you lived it. And so I would say, and that's maybe a comparison, but I'm using that in the light of sometimes you engage people, you show them how to come alongside you, because everybody has different personalities, and maybe that's something we can talk about one time, another time. Personality traits, an A, a B, a C, a D, and I had to learn that working with different ones, even in ministry, that they are more task oriented. I'm more on impulsive. I jump in. Well, not spontaneous. I won't say impulsive. I'm one that if you can tell me to do something, I'm jumping on it. I'm already thinking how it's going to look, how it's going to turn out, the outcome, and everything. While they're probably writing it down and typing it up and making it look real pretty, I've already thought it through. That this is what we need to do. This, and this. We need to connect this with this person or do that. But everybody's personality is different, and if you don't understand that person's personality, then it will create hurt feelings. It will create tension when working together with someone because you don't understand the person that you're working with. And my, how time flies. We're at the end. But the power of no. It's okay to say no. It's okay. Opportunities will present itself again. You may not get it right the first time. You may not get asked the first time. But if you wait, I've learned this, and I heard a very profound preacher say this one time, that there were two people that were standing in line, and one was in first, and there was someone behind them. But then he had them to turn, and when they turned, the one that was behind was in front, and they ended up first. So it doesn't matter where you're at in line, just be patient. Wait, because your turn is coming, and you may have been told no, or you may have said no, but the opportunity will present itself again, and it won't be wasted. So,
all right.
What do you say?
All right. Well, I mean, you got it.
You got it. No, I don't got it. I'm getting it. I'm learning that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, and
thank God.
I say no to you sometimes, and you say no to me sometimes. But we learn how to work it. He said I shouldn't, but sometimes you have to tell him no.
Whatever.
You have to tell him no because he has compulsive disorder.
I do have a little bit of but knowing that is half the battle. So I've learned to kind of temper that thing. So
he tempered it, but we work together. 37 years in, and we're going to Jamaica in a couple weeks and Aruba in a month or so. So you know what? Yes. I said yes. Yeah. But no, I appreciate this man right here, and even in my no's, he somehow knows how to turn a no into a yes. And so this is why I love him so much. But we're going to sign off until next week. Know that we love you. We love you, Delphine, Delsa, Sharon, Linda, Big Dave. Thank you for joining us. And Straight from the Heart. I think this one was really straight from the heart. What do you think?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because he was trying to say that I had ADHD. Jesus. We're going to have this conversation. We got to go, y'all.
That was the wrong word. It was not ADHD, but not attention deficit disorder, but obsessive compulsive. Oh, my gosh.
And our producer thought that was so funny. So I'm going to have a conversation with the both of them. We got to go.
No, she recognized. Thank you.
We love you until next week. Until next week, Straight from the Heart. God bless you. Yeah. We love you so much. And have a safe weekend, what's left of it. Yeah. Enjoy some of this beautiful weather. Yeah. We're getting ready to go do what?
Eat some oysters.
Eat some oysters. See, I said yes.
Oh, you should always say yes to that.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Gotta want your heart surgery. Gotta need your heart, so I can be what you're coming to be. I wanna talk like you, I wanna walk like you, I even wanna act like you. Ain't no cap, it's true.